to my channel, guys, and today is the second part of self-care. And today I have my mom and my cousin Danita here with me, and just to talk about self-care from the perspective of a mother. Well, they're both mothers, but one with small children and one with somebody who has an empty nest home. So I feel like like I said, I couldn't give all the tips in my personal video, so I got some help, and these are my people, so I wanted to bring them in. So the first question of today, guys,
It's ready.
okay. What are some things that you do for self-care for yourself?
Get these toes done,
Same.
hair done,
Yes.
watching TV. My games on my phone.
Okay.
To keep me sane.
Mine for me would be watching, definitely doing a lot of watching TV, and I am now just getting into the games. I'll be honest, I need to do better with the self-care piece as far as getting my hair done or even my feet. I guess definitely with COVID-19 going on, it has put me into that panic mode where it's like I'm in, so I don't want to do anything, and I know I still need to do self-care because that is a little more healthier. It will help you with
Just
your
stay sane, even in this crazy time.
even in this crazy time.
So, like, do you think you could do something in the house? Like, I know you don't want to go out, but, like, do you think you should be doing stuff in the house? Or have you been doing stuff in the house? Like, I mean, you say you get your toes done, but, like, do you do that for yourself now? Or do you just, like, since COVID,
I clip my toes. I'll clip them on my phone, make sure they look good. But it's just having somebody else do it for you makes it, it takes like a little pressure off of you when you go and like I wanted to attempt to do my own hair. Bought all the stuff. Told little Deborah I was gonna do my hair. I'm gonna sit in the mirror and do my hair. It didn't happen because I like somebody else to hamper me. You don't get that hampered feeling when you doing it yourself all the time. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just go to the beauty shop.
and stay going there because that's what I like to do.
I can agree to that. I think you get into your own mind and your own self, and it's like, I'm gonna do this, but in all actuality, I think that makes us feel good when we go out and allow somebody else, and it helps you to relax. So it's all about just making the time. For me, I feel like I have the time because I am an empty nester, but it still seems like it's not enough time in the day for self. It's always about others as moms, and then you transfer being a mom to a wife, and it's just like, okay, everybody needs comes before your own.
So, like, having small kids, how do you build in the time to get this self-care in? Because I know it's kind of hard. Like she said, you don't have the time.
Which is why I wake up so early in the morning. Because I know soon the kids will be up and I might not have my time. I get home from work, I'll sit in the car sometimes and talk on the phone until they start yelling. And I just try to get up, get things done before. So my beauty shop appointments, they're usually at 7 o'clock in the morning because I know my kids are still asleep. When I get home, it's go time. Breakfast and mommy and and Cedric might want something. It's just the constant, and we might have plans to do other things. So that cuts out Danita.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure I do it when I know they're not expecting anything from me.
I'm sorry. I think that part is hard, and it still doesn't change in a sense. It's like for me, when you were younger, it was always your needs. Self-care was on the back burner, and then it changed from you going off to college. Now what do I do with my life now that you're gone off to college? And so I was still trying to be mom from a distance, and self-care still was put off because I was in that transition period of what do I do with my life now that I don't have to do things for you, to okay, I'm finding my way to okay, now I transition to a wife. And it's like, okay, let me do the, I guess in a sense, the wifely duties, or the learning how to be a wife. To the self-care piece still has been put off. So even with the empty nest piece of it, is still learning self-care and learning what's best for you.
Good. Those are some good things. So do you feel like as a mom, you don't want to do self-care, or is it just like you don't have the time?
No, you want to do self-care.
Definitely.
It's just, what do you want to do? How you gonna fit it in? It's the feeling guilty if you're doing something for yourself. That's where I mess up. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I gotta hurry up and get home to these kids or something like that. So I just think it's we got to get out of our heads thinking about everybody else to take care of self. Because if we don't, then
how can you take care of everybody else?
Exactly, when we run ragged.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I think that's part of like womanhood in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think no matter the generation, because I think if we were to ask our parents and our moms, in a sense, like, what do you do for self-care? And I still don't think we, as a parent, as a woman, we always know exactly what to do, because I think just talking to mama, or even like talking to my aunt, it's like they're still worried about us trickling down to our children and so forth. So I don't think self-care is always
it's not the
priority. And I think, and I do believe culture-wise,
Black women,
as black women, we don't think about self-care. I think more and more in today's time, we talk more about self-care as opposed to probably when I was younger, I've never heard the word self-care. So my grandmother or my great-grandmother, it was always, we were taught to take care of our families.
Right.
And make sure that your children are good.
Yeah.
And so that has been instilled in us, that those are the things that we do.
Yeah.
And no matter, I think, like we always say, families first. So that's embedded in us as women, to making sure that our family is good. Whether it's me talking to Danita about a personal issue, or talking to somebody else, about probably what's bothering me, instead of like me breathing and like, okay, let me just think and get some alone time. It's more so, okay, I done talked about it, okay, moving on, let me get back to my regular scheduled program, instead of saying, okay, self-care.
That is just not me. Like, me and my friends talk all the time, and like we'll talk about an issue, and then it's just like a reoccurring issue until we're actually done like working through that issue. And we've noticed, like, our generation, when something bothers us, it bothers us. We can't keep going, like, and we're not saying that our life stops, but at the moment that is a pressing issue for us. So we can't focus on doing this because I got some other stuff that's going on with me that I need to heal first. So it's just,
but it's more like now, you talking about like generations. Mental health wasn't a trending thing, so now that it is, that's why you hear self-care and other things to make sure that everybody is good. Like, your mental health matters. We didn't care about it a long time ago. It didn't, that wasn't a thing. Mental health is like taboo.
Yeah.
To,
Yeah,
you know,
especially in the black
generation.
community.
Yeah.
Because we going to pray about it and
Exactly, and
go
go on. Like, you supposed to be able to fix that yourself, keep on moving, you know, ask God about it and go head on.
Yeah.
Self-care? What is self-care? You better go head on.
And like you said, that thing, because we be like, oh, he crazy. We gonna pray for him.
And
You
keep
know
on
that. You know your
going.
cousin crazy. Something wrong with your
Yeah.
crazy. We gonna pray for him. And okay,
let's
let's
go on.
Let's
But
go on.
find yourself like taking a break from social media.
Yeah, the news. I have not watched news in I don't know how long. I go off the weather on the alarm box. I walk out the house. I'm supposed to rain day. And it's mostly because, I mean, it's tiring, but I don't want my kids to have that constant reminder, coronavirus, Black Lives Matter, because then, not to say that I don't want to explain it to them, you know, I give them surface. That's it. I'm not going in deep because I don't want them thinking, you know, constantly about what's happening out. Yeah, it's like it's too much. So I don't want that to weigh on them. You worried about being a kid. That's all I need you to worry about. I tell them all the time, Mom and Dad will worry about everything else. You just be you. Do what you need to do. Worry about YouTube. Worry about your games.
That's true.
You
That
know,
is very true.
comb your dog's hair. I don't want you worrying about what's going on out here in the streets. I'll do that, you know. So, but by me doing that, it adds more to me, you know. So then it goes back to self-care. What, you know, it's like I got all this stuff going on in my head. You know, I'm trying to protect my kids at all costs. I'm trying to protect my mental at all costs. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So do you have an outlet? Like, is your husband an outlet? Like, is that a...
I know he gets out of me, but whatever.
Like, do
Because
you...
when I go on a rant, and he just listen. You know, he'll listen. He just smile and he be like, "Oh, okay." Then.
That's how you feel? Is that how you feel?
But he lets me rant. You know, that's like my person. You know, everybody needs a person, so he's become my person where I can get whatever off my chest, and I don't feel like the judgment. He ain't gonna come back on me and say, you know, but you said I don't get all that. He just let me.
Right.
Yeah.
And so do you worry about, like, do both of y'all worry about them? Or is that like another layer
yes.
of your husband
Oh God.
as a black male?
I don't feel like y'all can ask me that this weekend. I need a vacation after my vacation.
That's just another layer that's added on to
Yeah.
the
Oh,
worry.
most definitely. Because of what's going on, I'm home, but he still works the front line because of his line of work. So it's that constant. I'm not saying that I never pray for my husband, but I've added that extra layer of prayer, and definitely because he's working, because of the Black Lives, what's going on out here, it has sent where I was here maybe with it. Now it's like, whoo, alarms go off, you know, with him going to work.
Not to get preachy or anything like that, but you know, yes, the worry is there, but I'm gonna say not so much because of my faith. You know, I feel like Cedric and I, we pray every morning, but I make sure that in that prayer he's covered, my kid is covered, my son, even, well, both of them, you know, the men in the family, that they're covered enough, I feel, you know, that won't happen to them. Now, to say that it can't happen, not gonna say that, because I know that it can, but I want to, that gives me a peace to know that I believe in God enough to know that he's gonna cover the men in my family, that I won't have to excuse me, to bury one of my family members.
Okay, well, it was great talking with you ladies. I appreciate it. Before you go, I need each of you guys to tell me, well, you told me 3 things you do. or give me some tips that young moms can do for self-care.
Well, first of all, I'm not a young mom.
I'll say,
wait until I'm so old to have kids.
I would
but
say,
that's too
okay,
long,
or
I'm fine.
a mom with young kids,
Okay.
what to do
To do what?
for self-care, like having little kids. Like, what are 3 things you could say that they could do?
Use your car. Like, your car is where you get your quiet time. Like, in the morning on my way to work, that's my time. It used to be, I, on the phone chatting. I would call you in the morning time. I call my mom. I don't call anybody. I use that time to get my thoughts together. And as all it sounds, me being at work is like peaceful to me.
Yes.
Because it is peaceful. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but it's peaceful because, they're not depending on me at that moment to do anything but make my little money and come home. But even though Donovan had started calling me while I got back into reading, I would do like audio books, just listening. Those are like small things because it doesn't necessarily have to be a pamper yourself. It's just something to get your mind off of everything else that is going on. So something to help me tune out, even if I'm just searching my phone but looking at a rerun of something that I've probably seen 1,000 times. But it's just that peace. Yeah, it's just like a little piece. I'm like, I don't up there with your daddy. Let me watch this TV. Or, I tell them that I'm in the bed and I'm like, you come back here, you got to go to sleep. That's my way to make them, kind of go. So just so I can have a moment to settle, So, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah, that's me.
And what are 3 things, now that you said you don't do it, what are 3 things that you think you can implement to give yourself self-care?
Definitely taking more time to be able to just kind of those things as far as getting my feet done, just kind of relaxing and making sure, putting myself on that type of schedule to pencil it in, whether it is to go get a massage, putting myself on a regular schedule for self-care. That's the major thing of doing that. Finding that place, wherever that place may be. Usually I can go in the living room and I'm just staring out the window and watching the cars go by, and it does give me a sense of peace. I'm thinking, I'm processing, just getting into some type of exercise regimen for me, not us, him and I doing something together.